वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय,
जय
नवद्वीप धाम की जय,
जय
जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय,
जय
जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय,
जय
गंगा मई की जय,
जय
जमुना मई की जय,
जय
तुलसी देवी की जय,
जय
भक्ति देवी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय,
जय
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, Hari
Hare
Hari.
Bol.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga Goswami.
Hare
Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tere Swami Nityanamani. Namaste Krishna Paraya Prabhupada Sritatmani Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Jai. Narayana Namaskritya Narochevam Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Gudirayat Nashta Praiswa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhavatal Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Namo Bhagavate.
Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Chapter 10, Bhagavatam, the answer to all questions. Text 46 and 47. 46 is on the board now, so we'll do 46 first. Ayam tu Brahmana kalpa, savikalpa udarita, pidi sadarano yatra, sagapakrita, vaikrita. Ayam tu Brahmana kalpa, savikalpa udarita, pidi sadarano yatra, sagapakrita vaikrita. Ayantu Brahmana Kalpa Sabikalpa Udahrita Vedi Sadharano Yatra Saga Prakrita Vaikrita. Hare Krishna. Please stand.
Ayam tu Brahmana Kalpa Savikalpa Udarita Vidhi Sadharano Yatra Sarga Prakarta Vaikrita. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ayam tu Brahmana kalpaha savikalpa udahritaha viti sadharano yatra sarga prakriti vaikritaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Ayam tu Brahmana kalpa savikalpa udahruta vidhi sadharano yatra sarga prakrita vaikrita.
Jai.
Ayam tu Brahmana kalpa savikalpa udaritaha vidhi sadharano yatra sarga prakrita vaikritaha.
Jai. Anyone else like to try? Okay, so we'll do word for word. I am this process of creation and annihilation To but Brahmana of Brahma, Kalpa is 1 day. Savikalpa, along with the duration of the universes. Udahrita, exemplified. Vidi, regulative principles. Sadharana, in summary. Yatra, wherein. Sarga, creation. Prakrita, in the manner of material nature. Vaikrita, disbursement. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This process of creation and annihilation, described in summary herein, is the regulative principle during the duration of Brahma's 1 day. It is also the regulative principle in the creation of Mahat, in which the material nature is dispersed. Report by Srila Prabhupada. There are 3 different types of creation called the Mahakalpa, Vikalpa, and Kalpa. In the Mahakalpa, the Lord assumes the first Purusha incarnation as Karanodakshaya Vishnu, with all the potencies of the Mahatattva and the 16 principles of creative matter and instruments. The creative instruments are 11, the ingredients are 5, and all of them are products of Mahat, the materialistic ego. These creations by the Lord in its feature of Karanodakshaya Vishnu are called Mahakalpa. The creation of Brahma and the dispersion of the material ingredients are called Vikalpa, and the creation by Brahma in each day of his life is called Kalpa. Therefore, each day of Brahma is called a Kalpa, and there are 30 Kalpas in terms of Brahma's days. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 17, as follows. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu Ratring Yuga Sahasrantam Deho Yatra Vido Jana. In the upper planetary system, the duration of one complete day and night is equal to one complete year of this earth. This is accepted even by the modern scientists and attested by the astronauts. Similarly, in the region of still higher planetary systems, during the day and night is still greater than in the heavenly planets. The 4 yugas are calculated in terms of the heavenly calendars and accordingly are 12,000 years in terms of the heavenly planets. This is called the Divya Yuga. And 1,000 Divya Yugas make 1 day of Brahma. The creation during the day of Brahma is called Kalpa, and the creation of Brahma is called Vikalpa. When Vikalpas are made possible by the breathing of Mahavishnu, this is called a Mahakalpa. There are regular and systematic cycles of these Mahakalpas, Vikalpas, and Kalpas. In answer to Maharaj Parikshit's question about them, Shukadeva Goswami answered in the Pravas Khanda of the Skanda Purana. They are as follows. Pratama Sveta Kalpascha Titiyo Nilalohita Vamadevasti Titiyastu Tato Gatantaro Para Rorava Panchama Prukta Shashta Prama Iti Smita Saptamota Brihat Kalpa Kandarpostama Uchete Sadhuya Sadhyuta Navamakalpa Ishanu Dashama Smita Dhyana Ikadasha Pruktas Tata Sarvas Sarasvato Para. Trayudasa Udanastu Garudo Ta Chatudasa Kurma Panchadashu Gyeya Purnamasi Prajapate Sodasho Narasimhastu Samadhistu Tato Para Agniyo Vishuja Saura Somaskalpas Tato Para Dvabimsho Bhavama Prokta Supuma iti chapara Vaikuntaschastita tishas tatvad valikalpas tato para Saptavimsho tavairajo Gori kalpas tata para Maheshwaras tata pruktas Tripuro yatra gatita Pitikalpas tata chanti Yakuhur Brahmana Smrita. Therefore, there are 30 kalpas of Brahma. Therefore, the 30 kalpas of Brahma are 1. Shveta kalpa, 2. Nila Lohita, 3. Vamadeva, 4. Gadhantar, 5. Rorav, 6. Prana, 7. Brihadkalpa, 8. Kandalpa, 9. Sadyota, 10. Ishan, 11. Dhyana, 12. Sarasvata, 13. Udana, 14. Garuda, 15. Korma, 16. Narasingha, 17. Samadhi, 18. Agneya, 19. Vishnuja, 20. Sara, 21. Somakalpa, 22. Pavan, 23. Supuma, 24. Vaikunta, 25. Archisha, 26. Balikalpa, 27. Vairaja, 28. Gaurikalpa, 29. Maheshwara, 30. Patikalpa. These are Brahma's days only, and he has to live months and years up to 100. So we can just imagine how many creations there are in kalpas only. Then again, there are vikalpas, which are generated by the breathing of Mahavishnu. And as stated in the Brahma Samhita, Yasheka Nivasita Kalam Atabalambya Jivanti Loma Valaja Jagananda Natha. The Brahmas live only during the breathing period of Mahavishnu. So the exhaling and inhaling of Vishnu are Mahakalpas. And all these are due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for no one else is the master of all creations. Text 47. Please, let's scroll to that one. Harimanam chakalasya kalpalakshana vigraham yatha purushtad vyakyasye padmam kalpam atoshrinu. Word for word translation. Parimanam, manam, measurement. Cha, also. Kalasya, of time. Kalpa, a day of Brahma. Lakshana, symptoms. Vigraham, form. Yata, as much as. Purastat, hereafter. Vyakya, shall be explained. Padmam, by the name Padma. Kalpam, the duration of a day. Atho, thus. Shrinu, just here. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. O King, I shall in due course explain the measurement of time in its gross and subtle features, with the specific symptoms of each. But for the present, let me explain unto you the Padma Kalpa. Report by Srila Prabhupada. The present duration of a kalpa of Brahma is called the Varaha Kalpa or the Sweta Varaha Kalpa because the incarnation of the Lord as Varaha took place during the creation of Brahma, who was born on the lotus coming out of the abdomen of Vishnu. Therefore, the Varaha Kalpa is also called Padma Kalpa. And this is testified by acharyas like Jiva Goswami as well as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in pursuance of the first commentator, Swami Sridhar. So there's no contradiction between the Varaha and the Padma Kalpa of Brahma. Oma Gyanati Mirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshu Omilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnabam Cha Shri Rupa Sagajatam Sagana Raghunantam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lita Shri Vishakam Pitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sundibhe Eva Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Shatayani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Guru Se Namaha Ananda Nilamaya Vigrahaya Himadya Divacha Vishundaraya Tasmi Mahaprema Raspadaya Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandaya Namo Namaste Hare Krishna. So it is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 46, and the translation is, this process of creation and annihilation described in the summary form. So just scrolled when I shouldn't have. Okay. This process of creation and annihilation described in summary herein is the regulative principle during the duration of Brahma's one day. It is also the regulative principle in the creation of Mahat, in which the material nature is dispersed. And then we have text 47. And that's the English translation of that, and we get to it in a minute. And that is, O King, I shall in due course explain the measurement of time in its gross and subtle features, with the specific symptoms of each. But for the present, let me explain unto you the Padma Kalpa. So, as we were reading, we realized that there's so many mathematical numbers and descriptions all put in here by Shukadeva Goswami, and it has to do with the creation from Mahavishnu's role. Carbon dioxide Vishnu is not mentioned directly, but his role is there because he's very closely connected to Brahma coming into being and what Brahma did, Brahma's creation. And then it goes down to Brahma's daily creation, because every day after Brahma wakes up, he creates. And so all of that's explained with the relevant terms that go with all of this. Now, before this, which is text 45, Shukadeva Goswami, because it links to this, so let me just read the translation of text 45. There is no direct engineering by the Lord for the creation and destruction of the material world. What is described in the Vedas about his direct interference is simply to counteract the idea that material nature is the creator. So there are some people who have been thinking that creation is just from material nature because one, they don't see God, they cannot see God, they are not God conscious, and Krishna says he reserves the right not to expose himself or may be known by those who don't believe in him. So without them adding Krishna, the main personality to this whole creation, because it's its expansions, Vishnu, that do the creation of the material energy, from the material energy from the Mahatattva. And these people don't know, that includes the scientists too. Krishna says, I will not reveal myself to them, non-believers. They want the material energy to stay here birth after birth. That is their problem. But so because they don't think that way, what they see with their eyes is material nature. Well, so they conclude then the creation must have come from material nature because that's what we see. But it's explained that even though things are summarized here, it is still the Lord that is making everything work. Just like when it comes to pregnancy, a woman can just not get pregnant. The woman has to be seeded first. So it is the Lord that does the seeding of the material energy, and then things come to be and they become alive, or at least what we define as alive. The real live living is spiritual. Material energy is not like that. And spiritual is where life really is, the life force is. But still, so with that put there, Shukadeva Goswami said, whatever I talk about, you have to understand that it's still the Lord that is underneath this whole creation. That's why Brahma himself says, Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the cause of all causes. And then when we talk about what the demons do, and then we still say the Lord is Sarva Karana Karanam, people get a little nervous about that because the Lord is doing bad things. No, no. The demons have their free will to do what they want to do, but without the Lord creating them, they couldn't do anything anyway. So it's still the Lord's creation that these come to be. Although they are assistants, of course, Aditi and Kashyapa Muni, they gave birth not only to humans, the Daityas, even the Lord came, Vamanadev came to them, but they also, Bhagavatam explains, they give birth to other types of bodies that are not human. Trees, animals, and so on. They played quite a role in helping Lord Brahma. Anyway, so in this text 46, the process of creation and annihilation are described here. So there is the creation from Mahavishnu or Karanodakshaya Vishnu. The first Vishnu, the expansion of Sankarshan from the four forms of the Lord, for lack of a better word. Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Anirudh, Sankarshan, and Pradyumna. The Sankarshan feature, the second set of this Vasudev, Anirudh, Sankarshan, and Pradyumna, that Sankarshan expands to Mahavishnu. And when Mahavishnu breathes out, then these universes and the Mahatattva, basically, they become available. They become, in a way, because before then, they are in the body of Mahavishnu. So they come out the pores of Mahavishnu. And that breathing in brings these out, the material energy. And when he breathes back in, then they go back to the body of Mahavishnu. So this breathing out, where the universes come out, that's what's described here as Mahakalpa. And then So, Sri Papa says in the purport, it names all three of them, Mahakalpa, Vikalpa, and Kalpa. So we'll go to the other two. But for now, Mahakalpa. Mahakalpa, the incarnation of Lord as Karanodakshaya Vishnu or Mahavishnu. It's easier to link that because he's called Mahavishnu and then the Kalpa is called Mahakalpa. So both of them are using the word Maha, the beginning and the greatest. So the Lord assumes the first Purush incarnation as Karanodakshaya Vishnu. And the Mahatattva is under his control then. And with all the instruments, he brings out the material energy. So, because the ingredients, as we well know, from the material standpoint, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So that's there. And that's all part of the creation. Later on, it's described how through the ether, the sound comes, and then it's all described all the way up to the earth or the soil, and even the aroma in the soil. And then heat and electricity are all involved in it. But those are in other parts of the Bhagavatam. So this feature, Mahavishnu, his breathing out and breathing in, Mahakalpa, that part. Now, with the universes having come out, then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, which is an expansion of Mahavishnu, creates Lord Brahma from the navel, lotus. And that lotus navel, the stem also has the 14 planetary systems there. So that's made available for Lord Brahma to create, although, of course, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu helps him out to go through Tapasya first, and then he's taught to create. So this first part, where Brahma and the universes come out, that's the first time Brahma himself is born. That process is Vikalpa. And when Brahma is born, now Brahma has to live. So, of course, there's Brahma's days based on his time. And every day, daytime, Brahma in the beginning creates. And then in the evening, Brahma goes to rest. And when Brahma goes to rest, practically a good portion of the material creation of that universe that Brahma controls, those are destroyed. And so when Brahma wakes up, then he creates again. Actually, he creates still with the help of Lord Vishnu. It's explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that literally Lord Vishnu jars the mind of Brahma to start the creation again. And Bhagavatam is Bhagavatam. Why? I don't know. It's true, Lord Vishnu assuming the universal form, and that reminds Lord Brahma what he has to do, and Lord Brahma starts creating. So that creation that Brahma does daily, that's called a kalpa. So if we could summarize, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, breathing out, that's Mahakalpa. And then they didn't mention his name, but he's there. He expands to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is bringing Brahma into existence, along with the ingredients for making the varieties, planets, and so on, of the universe. That's Vikalpa. And then Brahma's creation. Now Brahma is in existence. He's living, he creates, he sleeps, he wakes up, he creates. That is called Kalpa. Now, the day of Brahma is also called Kalpa. So the creation by Brahma and the day of Brahma, they are given the same name, Kalpa. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains that there are 30 Kalpas in terms of Brahma's days. And they are listed. We went through it. I don't think I'm going to go through it a second time.
Looks like Brahma is very busy.
Yes, he stays busy. He never gets bored. So this regular cycle, Mahakalpas, that is the breathing out of Mahavishnu. Vikalpas, that's from carbon dioxide Vishnu. Then Brahma comes to existence along with the universe. That's Vikalpa. And then Brahma's creation on a daily basis, that's called Kalpa. Now, we're going to get a little more technical in this, just the numbers. There are 30 kalpas. Now, one of the things that we need to understand so that we don't get so confused about what the scientists talk about and what the Bhagavatam gives as description. We're going to talk about Brahma's day. Now, there are a number of days in Brahma's year, and we here in this solar calendar that we have, we look at a year as 365, sometimes 365 and a quarter, they say, because every 4 years is a leap year and becomes 366. In Bhagavatam, it's made clear that the number of days in Lord Brahma's year is 360. Not 364, 365. We don't compare like that. It's 360.
So like us, he has 360 years too. Yes,
It's
too.
360 days in Lord Brahma's year.
Like we are having. Is that right?
Well, we have 364,
Oh,
365.
364.
Yeah, that's so I'm just talking about the few days that we have. That does not compare or connect to the way Lord Brahma's days. It's very specific.
Okay.
And in fact, it makes it easier for the calculations to be done. The math just works up perfectly. But the one thing that is different, that's why I'm bringing it up now. One thing that's different about the days in a year for us and the days in a year for Lord Brahma is for Lord Brahma, 360 days is 1 year. And now let's talk about the months. We also have 30 days, 31 days. February sometimes is 28 days. February sometimes is 29 days. We have a leap year. Who knows what's going on? For Lord Brahma's month, it's 30 days, period.
That's
It is 30. So again, the year is 360 days and a month is 30 days. That's the way it is.
12
Lord
months.
Brahma.
12 months.
Yeah, for Brahma.
12 months.
12 months, yes. 12 months. 30 days in a month. So 12 months, 12 times 30 is 360, just like we talked about, 360 days in a year. And so the reason we brought it up is that in the Kalpas, which was the creation of Lord Brahma, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Prabhupada actually is in the purport part, he lists 30 kalpas. Now, the 30 kalpas, we did a little bit more of putting two and two together. 30 kalpas, he's did a Sweta kalpa all the way up to the land that Petri kalpa. 30. Why? That describes the kalpas in 1 month. Oh, Lord Brahma. 30 of them. 30 days in a month. That's why I went through the whole thing, tell you, forget about this 31 and 30 and 28 and so on. That doesn't go along with Lord Brahma's day. 30 kalpas. So every day of creation is 1 kalpa from Lord Brahma's creation is 1 kalpa from Lord Brahma. And since his month is 30 days, then Sri Prabhupada listed the 30 kalpas. That's how we started from the Sweta kalpa all the way up to the Petra kalpa. And right below that, after that, I should say, Srila Prabhupada says, these are Brahma's days only. And we've already been told a day of Brahma is the Kalpa. It's called a Kalpa. And he also creates that day. And therefore, to compare to the others, the Mahakalpa and Vikalpa, this one is just simply called Kalpa. And it's also the day of Lord Brahma. It's also his creation. And Srila Prabhupada says, Brahma has to live months and years up to 100. And that's the first time he brings the months in. He has to live months and years. So the 30 kalpas listed are the 30 days of the month of Lord Brahma. Therefore, the creation of Lord Brahma for each day in the month, he has his own name. Sweta Kalpa, Nilalohita, Bhamadeva, Gantara. Katantaro, and so on. Brihad Kalpa, all of that. And he creates. So the other conclusion is the next month, the cycle starts again. Shweta Kalpa for 30 days, all the way up to the last Kalpa, the Petri Kalpa. So while we are trying to figure out, yeah, understand, so trying to figure out our rotation of a day and the rotation of a sun and years, and we just adding things here and taking things off. Brahmas is very, very straightforward. This day, called a kalpa, 360 of them is a year, 30 of them is a month. And they, the kalpas, the descriptions of his creation, they're given one name, one day after the next until the 30 days for the month. Now, we're going a few more technical things and then we'll
Too many calculations.
we won't do. No, that's
I
all.
don't
Just
think we
understand
remember
that it's
all that.
360 days in a year for Lord Brahma.
Mhm.
360 days and 30 days. So every month is 30 days. There's no 31, there's no 28.
So
No.
Brahma doesn't have any relaxation. He'll be all the time busy.
It is very straightforward, and it is very it's just right on the mark every time. Now, the other way of looking at it is if there was 31 days, there was 28 days, then of course the whole Kalpa names were going to have to be changed. If you think about it. Not that it couldn't be done, but this makes it very, very, very straightforward. It's very, very systematic. That's the word. It's very systematic, the creation. Now, all right, let's just talk about Brahma a little bit, this creation. So he creates the planets below the 4 planets, and I'll tell you what the 4 planets are, the higher planetary systems. So there is Mahaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Brahma's own planet, Satyaloka, which is called Brahmaloka also. When Lord Brahma goes to sleep, those 4 planets are not destroyed. See, this is the difference between a regular kalpa and then the Vikalpa and so on. Those 4 planets are not destroyed. 4 planetary systems, I should say, are not destroyed. Mahakalpa, Janakalpa, sorry to use the word kalpa. Mahaloka, Jana Loka, Tapaloka, and Brahma's own Loka. Those are saved, and therefore everything below that, all lower planets, they're destroyed when Brahma goes to sleep. And Brahma's sleep is 4,320,000,000 years. That is 12 hours. And the daytime is also the same. 4,320,000,000 years. Now, 4,320,000 years, that's the total of a Divya Yuga. What's Divya Yuga? The one we know of. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Together, it's called the Divya Yuga. And so in Brahma's days, 12 hours, there are 1,000 of them. 1,000 of these yugas. And only one of those yugas, Divya yugas, does Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya come to being, or come, they reveal themselves, or they incarnate here on the earth. So 999 Divya yugas, you don't see Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is the one that matters to us the most because that's the Lord, Krishna himself in his most merciful form. And he's the one that has taught us, inaugurated the Hare Krishna mantra, which makes it a whole lot easier for us to go back to Godhead. So one of those 1,000 Divya yugas, 1,000. So there's 1,000 Satya yugas, 1,000, Treta yugas, 1,000, Dwapara yugas, and then 1,000 Kali yugas. But in that cycle, you start, Satya, Treta, Dwapa, Kali, then another Satya, Treta, Dwapa, Kali, and so on. Like that. And every time the Kali Yuga ends, Kalki Avatar comes and then destroys those who are troublesome, demonic people, and then the Satya Yuga starts again. So it's 1,000 of them, and for one of them, it's actually stated exactly where, down to the Manu that's reigning and all of that. But we won't get into that detail. Lord Chaitanya appears. So then only one Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga, so let's focus on Kali Yuga a little bit. Only one Kali Yuga. In the day of Lord Brahma, there's 1,000 Kali Yugas, as there are 1,000 other Yugas too. So when Lord Brahma comes in one day of Kali Yuga, that means there are 999 Kali Yugas that Lord Chaitanya is not here. So who is there then? Well, his name is Gaura Narayan. Gaura Narayan. He's also, Gaura means golden colored, but he's Narayan, Vishnu form. And he comes on the 999 other Kali Yugas that Lord Chaitanya is not here. He does not teach the Hare Krishna mantra to go back. He talks about the Vaikuntha planets. Now, we're saying this to make a point. The Vaikuntha planets, but not the Golok Vrindavan planet. When Lord Chaitanya comes, then the existence and the means to go to Golok Vrindavan is also made available. Therefore, this is a very special time that we're in. Golok Vrindavan has been described, it has far more varieties of rasas, relationship with the Lord. The other Vaikuntha planets, the Lord is worshipped as a king in awe and reverence. But in Golok Vrindavan, one can be a friend, one can be a parent, one can be a lover. Those are not available in the other Vaikuntha planets. So when Gaura Narayan is around, or for that matter, the other planets, the other yugas, the existence of Golok Vrindavan is not made known. It's not made known. We are at the point now, see how much mercy there is, and how without Lord Chaitanya, it's practically impossible to go back to the spiritual world. So he's inaugurating this, and the chanting of the holy name. Not only that, the chanting of the holy name, if we take it seriously with great focus, that's our challenge. Sometimes our mind travels but if we get into the chanting, it comes from the heart, we will develop love of Godhead. Love of Godhead, which is so difficult to get, through the chanting of Mahamantra, as long as we do offenseless chanting, we can in fact get love of Godhead. And this is how the Lord operates. He operates based on love. Other than that, he has nothing to do. The pastimes are all based on love. Even when he's destroying, it's based on protecting his devotees. And protection is another form of love that he's showing. So we are fortunate at this point to have not only Shastra telling us about the existence of Golok Vrindavan, but Srila Prabhupada has come, sent by Krishna, in order for us to be taught about the existence of that planet, the relationships there, and how to be able to go to that particular planet. Devotees are literally, for lack of a better way to put it, bypassing the Vaikuntha planets and going up to Goloka Vrindavan, which is, of course, in the spiritual atmosphere, the Paravyoma, true enough. But that's where the relationship is the sweetest, because it's based on the highest love that one can show to Krishna. The other Vaikuntha planets, yes, there's love, but there's love in service to a king, Narayan. Whereas in the Vaikuntha and in the Goloka Vrindavan, the Lord can be a friend. Lord, basically, if we use American terms, Lord can be your greatest buddy. Literally, like that. Friendship, everything is based on love. Conjugal relationship, parental relationship, and friend relationship, it's all based on love. We saw a little bit of it described 5,000 years ago between Krishna and Arjuna. And Arjuna was so close to Krishna. And by the way, Arjuna's body is like Krishna's body. Sometimes he calls Krishna Saka. Body is very similar. For that matter, Uddhava's body is like that too, close to Krishna's. Uddhava's facial features have been like Krishna. But Arjuna and Krishna were so close. I mean, they were so close. They were so close. A great relation, great loving relationship. And look what Krishna did for Arjuna. The very last thing he did was to drive his chariot. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom all the other incarnations and all creation, everything material and spiritual come to be. He is just playing a simple menial role for his devotee. And the only reason is out of great love for his devotee, and the devotee loves him. So the love is experienced in its highest in Goloka Vrindavan. And with the other yugas, the other 999 yugas, those who are living don't know about Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the time. And then there's one more thing to add. This is the time to take Krishna consciousness very seriously. Srila Prabhupada has come to live with us. He's a pure devotee from the spiritual world, from Goloka Vrindavan. He has come to live with us and seen our situation. And from that, even though a Vaishnava is supposed to chant 64 rounds, he has reduced it to 16 rounds minimum. And then we chant 16 rounds minimum to get an opportunity to go back to not just the spiritual world, but to that particular planet, Goloka Vrindavan. So much mercy has been good. And the point we're talking about here is one thing only: the seriousness with which we need to take Krishna consciousness and the extent of fortune that we have at this time to be a devotee. We are very fortunate. It's a huge fortune. And in American terms, Krishna consciousness, the chanting of japa is also on sale. 75% off, 3/4 off. You can chant 16 instead of 64 rounds and still make it back to the spiritual world as long as you obey the regulative principles also. But the regulative principles bring us to the human platform. Another way of saying it is that a person is not obeying the regulative principles. He's not living on the human platform. The human platform involves having to live like a person in a human body. The human body is made in a certain way, and certain types of diet, certain types of consciousness are consistent with living in this particular human body. Remember, there are other types of bodies one can live. 8 million of them. 8 million of them non-human bodies. And there, the situation is different. In an animal, in a bird, in a tree, in a fish, insect, reptile, they are taken care of by the Lord, but they don't connect. They cannot connect with the Lord the way a human body can. So we are in this human body. We are living at a time when Goloka Vrindavan is made available for us to be able to go. And the process for going has been simplified by the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that is why it is important when we understand it that way, how fortunate we are to be living at this time when Goloka Vrindavan is now known and we can go there. The process is given to us, that we extend that mercy to others. And therefore, Harinam Sankirtan is extremely important. Lord Jagannath does his part. This morning, later in the afternoon, there will be Gita Nagari's Rath Yatra. The Lord appears. Everyone who sees Lord Jagannath if they were even meant based on more ignorance to go to a non-human body type next life, just by seeing Lord Jagannath, that's not going to happen to them. They will take birth as a human. Again, getting another chance to be involved in life where the intelligence is higher than the other species, because in the human body, be able to understand God. And when in Rath Yatra, people also taste the prasadam, the Jagannath Mahaprasadam. Again, that is that all gives a person a chance to take a human body, but also the seed of devotion is planted. We mean by that at some point the person will be open to Krishna consciousness. They may call themselves kami now, or we call them kami based on their actions because it's based on their karma, simple reactions and good things, going up to higher planets, going down to lower planets. That's happening to them. But once a person loses the opportunity to be in a human body, then they are set back for years and years and years and years and years. 8 million type bodies. Who knows which one they'll get? So seeing Lord Jagannath and being able to take birth as a human is a big deal for those souls who get to see Lord Jagannath. And eating the Mahaprasadam is one turned into a serious devotee, start their royal path of devotion going back to the spiritual world. So this time when Goloka Vrindavan is made available, and the way to get there is also made available, and even some of the conditions reduced, so now we chant 16 rounds. This is the time, we can't say it enough. This is the time, says, especially if you're like some of us, we're tired of this material world and don't want to see it again, this is the time to take it extremely, extremely seriously, so that the mercy of the spiritual master will be extended to you, to me, to everyone. And we do Harinam Sankirtan in order to get people to get involved in Krishna consciousness. Many, many people would tell us that if they talk about the story, how they came to Krishna consciousness, it was by the mercy of some devotee. In my case, I heard 3 lectures. I had a lot of questions that the religions couldn't answer for me. But it was through a devotee person who was interested in Krishna consciousness at that time, who gave me cassettes of 3 lectures. And from there, after I heard them, I realized that this was at a much higher level than anything I've heard. And I went looking for the devotees, the rest of the devotees. And totally convinced about that, I joined the Hare Krishna movement. So we also have to protect this particular movement. ISKCON is very important. Srila Prabhupada says, don't leave the movement. You have to adjust. Things will happen. We have lower natures. That's why we're conditioned souls. But we're very fortunate conditioned souls who are connected to Krishna consciousness at a time that we can go. To Goloka Vrindavan. The other times, you won't even know about it. The best you can do is go to Vaikuntha planet, which isn't bad at all. Of course, once you leave the material world, your anxieties are over. But to have the most wonderful relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not even looking at him as God, but your best friend, the wonderful son, if you're parental, or the greatest lover, forever and ever without any kind of anxiety to deal with. This is the best deal that we can get anywhere in existence. So we got to take that seriously. Yes, there's the Mahakalpa, the breathing of, and this is for the material world, the breathing of Mahavishnu, and then through Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Vikalpa comes to be, because that's when Lord Brahma and the others, the ingredients, the Mahatattva for creation comes to be. And then he creates every day when he wakes up. One final thing about numbers, and this is a very, very simple one. Based on, and I know we stress the fact that there's 30 days in Lord Brahma's month, there's 360 days in Lord Brahma's year. So I worked out the math that I was just curious. what's 1 second of Lord Brahma's time compared to us? And the answer from my calculator came very simply, and then probably everybody can remember this letter, but it's also kind of astounding. 1 second of Lord Brahma is 100,000 years of our time. They're both one. At least you can remember the number one. 1 second of Lord Brahma's time is one 100,000 years. So then if you go back to the past times of the Lord, where Lord Brahma stole the cows and the cowherd boys. So the Lord assumed the form, expanded himself to the form of all the cows that were stolen, all the cowherd boys, and then went home from that point on. Lord Brahma had hidden them in the cave. Now he related to the residents of Vrindavan and the cows for 1 year. Only 1 year. Now, what's that in Lord Brahma's time? Remember, 1 second is 100,000 years. So Lord Brahma, for him, he hit them in a very short time, according to him. 1 year then is 1/100,000th of a second of Lord Brahma's time. So they really weren't going long at all. A very, very short moment. But he saw that within that time, the boys were there and the cows were there, and he says, but I hit them. How could they still be on the field? How could they still be relating? Well, you know the rest of the story. It's basically he realized that those who were sleeping, he put them in a mystic sleep. They were still there, and then the Lord had actually expanded himself. And then the Lord actually showed Brahma by changing all of that form of the cowherd boys and the cows into Vishnus. Just to show Lord Brahma that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. To answer his bewilderment, he changed himself to Vishnu and then to one, Krishna, holding simply wonderful fruit, given sweet, given by his mom or his shoulder. So that's where Brahma learned. But anyway, Krishna's pastimes, you can go on for a long time. I'll just stop here. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we know Vikalpa, Mahakalpa, Vikalpa, and then Kalpa. Mahakalpa is from the breathing of Mahavishnu. And Vikalpa is through Garbhodaksaya Vishnu and Lord Brahma coming into existence the first time. And then Kalpa is the Lord Brahma's creation on a daily basis. Hare Krishna. Okay, so if anyone wants to make a comment, they can unmute themselves now. And,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Just the magnitude of this creation is beyond astounding.
Yes.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Just reminds me of Srila Prabhupada chastising, I think, Satswarup Maharaj, I think it was in California. We are so tiny in this creation.
Yes.
And yet we think of ourselves as being so big. One little service I do and I think, oh, I have done this, almost thinking if I don't do it, things will not happen. And then you see this. And yes, we hear Brahma's pastime and we know it. And if Brahma has realized it, of course, we also realize it. But when you actually think about it and put ourselves in that position, we realize how minute we are, how inconsequential we are, and how important it is for us to remember that.
Yes, very, very important. In fact, as you were speaking, it reminded me of one situation with one of the devotees of Srila Prabhupada at that time. And he was trying to say that that he is the most, most humble. Humble, and Srila Prabhupada says you're not the most anything. Now, in one sense, it's like, people look at it and said, oh, Srila Prabhupada just kind of wrote him off. And Srila Prabhupada continued and said, what you need to understand is that you are simply insignificant. You are insignificant. This is our situation. We are insignificant. Compared to those who are in non-human type bodies, we may say, oh, we're human. Well, yes, we are, but we shouldn't be so puffed up about it. We should just consider ourselves lucky, very fortunate to be in the type of body that we can understand Krishna and then be born at a time when Srila Prabhupada has made the process of entering the spiritual world a lot more facile, a lot easier to enter. This is our fortune to be born at this time. And this is why the Nam Sankirtan is so important to spread it. And this is why Lord Chaitanya did so much of it in India. Let people know, because there's this great fortune that's there, the opportunity to leave the material world and go to the most versatile planet in the spiritual world. It is made available now. We should help each other. Those devotees help each other to stay in the process and try to help others too by book distribution and just chanting so they can hear the holy name. In all avenues of the media, we try to use it to get the holy name out, because that is, in fact, the devotee extending the mercy of Lord Chaitanya to the rest of the inhabitants in the world. Hare Krishna. Very important for us to do. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please,
This was very, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This was very difficult topic you covered today. I was thinking what you were going to say. So, and you very clearly explained Mahakalpa, Vikalpa, and Kalpa, and 30 days in Brahma's 1 day, 30 kalpas.
30 days in Brahma's 1 month,
1 month.
Yeah.
And I have one question, 2 questions.
Yeah.
So, which form of Vishnu is Narayana form? Is it Karna Dakshaya Vishnu or Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu? Narayana's 4 arm forms. And second,
I understand the question. From Krishna. So let's do the expansions. So because Narayan and Vishnu are this basically answered by understanding how it all comes about. The first plenary expansion of Krishna is Balaram. Then, as explained in the Shastra, Balaram expands to the Chaturvyuha, the 4 forms of the Lord Vasudeva, Anirudh, Sankarshan, and Pradyumna. Sankarshan expands to Narayan for this first one. I say first one because there's a second set coming up. Narayan expands to a second set of Vasudeva, Anirudh, Sankarshan, and Pradyumna. Again, the Sankarshan for the second set expands to Mahavishnu. So that's how Mahavishnu comes in. So Mahavishnu, according to the Shastra, is an expansion from Narayan, from an expansion of Narayan. Because from Narayan, the second set of Vasudeva, Anirudh, Sankarshan, Pradyumna come to be. That's the first expansion of Narayan. And then the Sankarshan from that 4 expands to Mahavishnu. That's why I said there's an expansion. Mahavishnu is from Narayan's expansion, which also expands. Narayan expands to Sankarshan, Sankarshan expands to Mahavishnu.
So Mahavishnu and Garbho Dakshaya Vishnus, they are 4-armed forms?
They are Vishnus are 4-armed forms.
4-armed forms.
Yes. Vishnus are 4-armed forms. At least make it simple enough.
And our second question, we learn about Brahma Samhita. So Brahma Samhita, the Brahma glorified Krishna. When did he glorify with these songs? Is it when he stole the cow herd, like cows, like cows, or when he was doing tapa in Garbo Dakshak ocean. So when was this Brahma Samhita songs were sung by
When he
Brahma?
realizes, Prabhu?
I have to look up that. I'm not sure when, actually. When. I don't have the answer to that question right now. I just have to look it up and see when Brahma Samhita, the prayers of Lord Brahma came about. But it's a very legitimate question. I have to look up that. I know. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I think the Brahma thinks that Krishna is just cowherd boy, and he steals. And then when he realizes that Krishna is not a cowherd boy only, Isvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Then he knows that he is Sarvakarana Karanam.
So that's when he said it then?
Then the Brahma Samhita comes, all the slokas comes.
Okay, all right. So that's your answer then, Mataji.
I don't know, Prabhu. I'm thinking, that's all. I'm
okay,
not
well, if you're not sure, then we can always look it up, because there are prayers that Lord Brahma said after he realized his mistake.
Yeah.
The question is the Brahma Samhita in those prayers? Because if it is, then the answer is yes, after he realized that Krishna, the cowherd boy, was actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he said that. But I'll have to look it up too. I don't know.
Because a lot of slokas, he says, when...
Brahma also realized his mistake when Krishna shows many Brahmas in front of
my daughter says
the Brahma.
Say it again. Mataji, you're breaking up a little bit too, so it makes it a little difficult to hear.
Oh, okay. When Brahma became proud once, and he went in front of Krishna, and there were several other Brahmas with different heads.
Yes.
That is one.
I don't know. That's when he said that.
Well, we're going to have to find out. So we know that he said it, which is Brahma Samhita, which is wonderful. I think I know when, but I'm not sure. So I have to go back to, I would, and if I'm not sure of something, I won't say it until I'm actually sure about that. There was a particular pastime, yeah, but that Lord Brahma said about what amounts to the Brahma Samhita. As I was thinking, trying to think when a particular situation came, yeah, but I know Brahma was with Krishna at the time and he made that, but exactly what was going on, I'll have to look it up.
Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very nice.
Hare Krishna. Krishna's mercy.
Very nice class, Prabhu.
Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy.
Yeah.
There is a lot in of technicalities. Lord Brahma, I mean, Srimad Bhagavatam covers it all. When it comes to numbers, it comes to situations, creation, and so much. When we get to third canto, it'll be very interesting. And Maitreya Muni begins to speak again, so many things about time, and it will all be brought up then. Today, for time, we just made it clear that 360 days is Brahma's year, 30 days is Brahma's month. And now you know 1 second is 100,000 years of our time. Lord Brahma. Brahma's 1 second is 100,000 years. It's very fascinating.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other comments, final questions or comments? If not, then thank you very much for coming. I also look forward to talking to you, especially after the class. Then we have regular discussion, which is very nice.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
Have a wonderful one. Okay. Hare Krishna.